Hey there, I'm Brandon72Mo. Today I want to take a look at the recently released GTA Online Lowriders Custom Classics DLC, covering the good, the meh, the bad, and the ugly. This DLC brought us one entirely new car, the Dundry Virgo Classic, as well as two new upgrades to existing cars, the Willard Faction and the Vapid Slam van. There were also two new weapons, the compact rifle and the double barrel shotgun, as well as 16 new tattoos, 6 new hairstyles, over 100 new apparel items, 3 new player actions, and the new sumo adversary mode. I already uploaded videos covering the cars and the weapons, and right now you're seeing the new male hairstyles and tattoos. I don't have a female character, so I can't show you any of the female clothing or hairstyles. If you do want to see every upgrade option for the 3 cars though, make sure you check out the videos that I uploaded yesterday. I'll include a link to my playlist to the Lowriders Custom Classics DLC at the very end of this video. Once I'm finished showing the new hairstyles and tattoos, the rest of this footage will be almost entirely from the new sumo adversary mode. So let's start with what is good with this DLC. First, the DLC brought a ton of fixes to little bugs and problems that were already in the game. There's way too many fixes to list them all, so instead I'm going to put a link to the version 1.33 patch notes in the description down below. Rockstar finally fixed the missions menu, however. Previously, you had to participate in a contact mission to be able to replay it through the pause menu. Now, however, any mission that you have the required rank for will show up under the missions section of the pause menu. This is a welcome addition, and it should open up a lot of new missions to many players. There is also the new Ghosted to Player function. This is yet another welcome addition to GTA Online. We have all had those times in a lobby where we're hanging out with friends, maybe for a car show or whatever, and somebody thinks it'll be fun to troll you by killing you over and over. Now, if that person kills you 3 times in 5 minutes and you have not damaged them, you'll have an option to go ghosted to that trolling player. If you select it, only you and that troublemaker will be ghosted to each other for 2 minutes. You can kind of think of it as a modified passive mode because it gives you 2 minutes where the player who is causing you trouble cannot do any more damage to you. Also on the good side, the new sumo adversary mode is actually pretty fun to play, and each one does get more challenging than the last. Granted, Rockstar's matchmaking is terrible, so I was never able to fill up a lobby to play this game, but me and a friend had a lot of fun trying to shove each other around in cars. I especially like that there's a sudden death when the timer runs out. There's a safe grown that grows smaller and smaller once sudden death is triggered, which really amps up the challenge of the sumo adversary mode. I really do think Rockstar is being lazy by just shoveling out nothing but new adversary modes, especially when so many of us would like to see new missions, races, and death matches, and even some other content, but at least this sumo adversary mode is actually fun to play. The new organization of weapons and ammunition is also a nice touch. In a recent live stream, I pointed out that I wasn't really sure where Rockstar was going to put new weapons since the walls were filling up. The Lowriders Custom Classics DLC brought a very clever organization to ammunition, grouping similar weapons together. And speaking of weapons, I really love the new double barrel shotgun. Sure, it only holds 2 rounds, but it has a fairly decent reload time and it can deal a ton of damage to other players or anything else that you happen to be shooting at. I definitely have to give kudos to Rockstar for bringing another great weapon to the game. When it comes to the cars, the new Virgo Classic is a good addition to your car collection. It's a huge coupe that, when upgraded to a lowrider, has some really nice customization options. I especially like all the livery options that are available on this car. I always try to make my cars as unique as possible, so I really appreciate having so many ways to customize my ride. But hands down, my absolute favorite addition that Lowriders Custom Classics brought is the Vapid Slam van Custom. I've always liked the Slam van because it's a beautiful old truck. It just had terrible traction and brakes. While the brakes aren't really fixed by upgrading to a custom, you can now add a spoiler to the truck, which really helps boost the traction. On top of that, this truck is quick, especially in a straight line. It takes a second to get moving, but once it does, it can pile on some serious straight line speed. And then there's the customizations. I love the design that I came up with for my Slam van, but I really want to buy 1 or 2 more because there are a ton of great design choices to work with on this truck. This is literally the first time ever in GTA Online that I have actually wanted to own more than one of the same vehicle, and it's all because I really like all the options that are available on the Slam van. I really can't wait to see what you and other fellow players are coming up with in designing this amazing truck. And speaking of cars, the Lowriders Custom Classics also added 3 additional vehicles to the game files that aren't currently available in the game. Now, Rockstar has done this several times in the past, packaging additional content in one update that doesn't get unlocked until sometime later. In fact, Rockstar's own trailer for this DLC clearly states that additional Lowriders are coming soon. According to sources I trust who have looked into the game files, the new additions for modifications at Benny's will be the minivan, the Sabre Turbo, and the Tornado. What's really interesting about this is that if you load the Benny's app on your in-game phone and keep going back to the stock page, you'll see all 3 of these cars in the photos near the top of that page. When these 3 vehicles become available is anyone's guess, but when they do, I'll be sure to upload videos right here on my channel showing you every single upgrade option available. Now, let's move on to the meh of the Lowriders Custom Classics DLC. Now, when I say meh, I'm using it about things I'm really indifferent about. They're not good additions, but they're not really bad either. I'm really indifferent about all the new clothing, hairstyles, and tattoo in the game. For me, none of them are really must-have items, things that I just have to go out and buy. I can appreciate that the new hairstyles bring an added diversity to the game, but I do wish that Rockstar would add more hairstyles and clothing that appeal to a broader audience. On top of those things, I'm really indifferent about the new compact rifle. It has a decent fire rate and reload time, but it doesn't really deal much damage. I own the gun on one of my characters, but aside from the novelty of having a new gun, I haven't used it because there are much better rifles that were already available in the game. And this brings us to the bad in this DLC. Despite all of the bug fixes in the game, Rockstar has missed an opportunity yet again to fix 2 cars with serious problems. The first is the Banshee 900R's acceleration and top speed. The stopgap tuning that Rockstar did is acceptable, but I'd really like to see a permanent fix put into place. This car has been in the game long enough that they should have been able to come up with a permanent fix by now. Of course, the stock faction has been in the game for 6 months now, and it's still horribly broken. The doors still scrape when opened too close to a curb, and the car still flips over from the slightest little bumps. This is really unacceptable, and it should have been fixed a long time ago. Rockstar really needs to get their shit together and fix this car already. I prefer the stock version of the faction, and it remains a huge disappointment that I can't drive it due to this bug in its tuning. Speaking of the faction, let's move on to the ugly. I won't beat around the bush. I think donks, whether in real life or in video games, are hideously ugly. The faction custom donk is no exception. After I finished recording my video of the faction donk yesterday, I immediately sold the donk that you saw. I know some players are excited about it. I've seen numerous videos heaping praise on it, and even a good friend of mine has one. But I cannot stand donks. They're just so overly ridiculous. I really hope that none of the 3 remaining cars from this DLC get a donk-only treatment. I'd much more prefer to see the street ride look that came with the slam van instead of a donk. But Rockstar, if you're listening, please, no more donks. Speaking of the cars though, one aspect of this, and all GTA Online DLC, is the rumor sites and channels that spread bad information. Like many of you, I follow these sites and channels to try to get a general idea of what might be coming to the game. Rockstar is so secretive with their plans that we really don't have any other choice. Unfortunately, that leaves the door wide open for people to post bad and misleading information. Many of them use clickbait article and video titles to try to trick people into thinking that they have confirmed information about what's to come. One recent example happened with the Lowriders Customs Classics DLC. While many of these rumor mongers had the names of the cars correct, they still provided some very wrong information. They said that all 6 cars were being added to the game, and while that's technically true, 3 of them remain locked. What's worse, the clickbait artists saw leaked information that pointed to an upgradable Virgo, and they came to the incorrect assumption that it was going to be the Albany Virgo that showed up with the first part of the Ill-Gotten Gains DLC from last summer. I saw numerous articles and videos that encouraged people to buy the Albany Virgo to be prepared for the DLC that dropped yesterday. I feel bad for any GTA Online player who followed this bad advice because they wasted nearly 200,000 GTA dollars on the wrong car. We all know now that it was the Dundee Virgo Classic that was released and can be upgraded at Benny's, and that this new car is actually 30,000 GTA dollars less than the Albany Virgo. So guys, be careful when you're viewing content that claims to know exactly what's going to be in upcoming DLC. They're often wrong, and they're typically just using your desire for information to get you to click on their video or article. You are better off waiting until Rockstar releases official information before you ever spend any of your hard-earned GTA dollars. Some of these same clickbait artists also gave out incorrect information that the performance for some in-game cars was altered. I won't go into the details on this one because Bruffy1322 has already uploaded a video in which he did a wonderful job dispelling these lies. But it's more of the ugly stuff that has come from clickbait trolls with this and every GTA Online DLC. And that wraps it up for my analysis of the new GTA Online Lowriders Custom Classics DLC. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this DLC. Do you agree with my thoughts, or do you think I've completely lost my mind? Either way, let me know your thoughts about this DLC in the comments down below. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and get subscribed if you're not already. And of course, if you didn't like today's video, well, you know what to do, but like it or hate it, leave me a comment down below. Be sure to follow me on social media for video updates and other gaming news. Brendan72Mo on both Twitter and Facebook. And come hang out with us at the Vainglorious forums, btyb.freeforums.net, where we discuss tips and tricks for GTA Online, as well as a ton of other games. Thanks for watching my analysis of the GTA Online Lowriders Custom Classics DLC. I'm Brandon72Mo, and I'll see you in the next video.